Ready? Go!
Charizard. Do I have your attention now? Good, because today we're going to be talking about, not Moltres, Giratina, in the trading card game specifically, as well as my experiences playing Giratina cards, and also the really cool artwork we can see on certain Giratina cards. So we're going to start by taking a look at my collection of Giratina cards, starting with the most expensive Giratina card, Lottery Promo 146, and its Korean counterpart, Lottery Promo 52. What can be said about these cards, other than they're expensive, they're beautiful, and I wish there was an English version that was affordable, like an ETB promo or something. But they didn't make ETBs for Dragons Exalted, so that wasn't a thing till Plasma Storm. They skipped over Freeze. If you're curious on what the regular SR version of this Pokemon card looks like, it looks like this. This is just the regular version of Lototina, the Dragon Blast Giratina. They're both really cool, absolutely beautiful cards. Yeah, they're drawn by 5-fan, but I don't care. Giratina's my boy. And it's very hard to make Giratina look bad. Funny I say something about Charizard, because each of these Giratina cards in the first part of this video are in the Mega Charizard UPC sleeves. Next up, I have 5 copies of the better Giratina EX, competitively. The Giratina EX from Ancient Origins and Bandit Ring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 copies of the SR. I had a full art Russian copy at one point and a full art Korean copy, but I graded the Korean copy and ended up selling it. And then the Russian copy, I don't know where it is. I wish I could find it, that would be really cool. Because the only Russian copy I can find now is in a slab, and it's really expensive, and I'd have to crack it. But that's neither here nor there. Next up are the Pocket Tinas. I got these from Creative Card World. I'd like to get the shiny variants of these at some point when I have the money, but these are really cool. They look official apart from the back of the card. Next up is a card that only ever released in certain parts of Asia, specifically Japan, Korea, and mainland China. I have 1 copy of the Korean ultra rare Garchomp and Giratina, 2 copies, that's from Tag Team All-Stars, 2 copies of the Shining Synergy Ultra Rare from mainland China. This is from Shining Synergy Set B. And 2 copies of the Japanese Tag Team All-Star Ultra Rare Garchomp and Giratina GX. Garchomp's cool and all, but this video ain't about him. It's about Giratina. Next up is a card I had in English, but I ended up having to sell. So right now we're going to have to settle for the Korean copy of the Egawa Giratina from VStar Universe and Crown Zenith. I'd also like to get the simplified Chinese version from the Radiant Energy Box version 5, I think, or is it version 6? It came out shortly after Shadow of the Blue Sea Set A and B dropped, which we'll get to the Shadow of the Blue Sea Giratina soon enough. I also have the regular Lost Origin and Lost Abyss, the Korean Lost Abyss, and a playset of Lost Origin Ultra Rare Giratinas. This card was very good. And it's kind of... we got lucky that they didn't reprint Double Dragon Energy when this and Dragapult were legal. Dragapult EX, because the VMAX kind of got overshadowed by Eternamax, which was literally one set later. Now, out with the gold and in with the rainbow, I have the hyper rare Garchomp and Giratina GX from Unified Mind. You need to get it in Japanese and Korean from GG End. But I also have the Double Burst Hyper Rare from Traditional Chinese set. And then I have a Korean Lost Abyss VStar. Which, speaking of Lost Abyss, here is the Japanese version of the Hyper Rare. Very cool. I think this video is going to be more about me glazing Giratina cards. Excuse me. And, giving brief summaries of how good they were when talking about competitive. If I see a card I've already done, I'll just look at its art. I got 2 copies of the VStar Hyper Rare in English from Lost Origin. I love the Lost Origin set symbol, it's just Giratina's crown. Speaking of Lost Origin and Lost Abyss and Shadow of the Blue Sea set B, here's the alt art I pulled on camera. I will leave an iCard to that video and probably a link at the end to the video where I pulled this. Then we have back to the tag teams. I have 2 copies of the Tin Promo alt art and a copy of the traditional Chinese. You can tell because it didn't have that diagonal foil pattern. It's traditional Chinese, not simplified, or English or Japanese. You can tell it's traditional, not simplified, because there's no Pokemon logo in the corner in the rule box, and it doesn't have the diagonal foil pattern that every other language does, except like Indonesian, Thai, and I think it was just Indonesian, Thai, traditional Chinese. There's a language I'm forgetting that didn't do that. Let me know in the comments. And if it doesn't come to me, then if it does come to me, then don't worry about it. Back onto the SR tag teams, we have 2 Korean copies of the Garchomp and Giratina. I didn't say anything about how good Garchomp and Giratina was competitively. Garchomp and Giratina was an interesting tag team. It could do lots of damage, but in the expanded format, it got a bunch of cards banned. I think Miss Magius from Unbroken Bonds was one of them. That card was pretty good anyway. I have 2 English copies, one of which is really off-center. I have a Japanese copy, as well as a traditional Chinese copy. I will leave my Instagram in the description, because I'm always looking to add to this collection. One Japanese Team Plasma's Full Art Giratina from the Team Plasma Battle set, and 3 English copies, which these have gotten incredibly pricey as of late. God, that card looks so sick. I have the Korean foil rare version too, the one with the Cosmo foil. And then for the rest of the SRs, I have Korean Giratina, Japanese Giratina, traditional Chinese Giratina, and I believe 6 copies of English Giratina. Yep, 6 copies. And then one other really off-center card I have in this collection is this off-center play stamp VStar. I don't have the V, and I also don't have a copy of this card with the play stamp that is centered, but I don't grade anymore, so that doesn't really matter to me, but that's probably off-center enough to get the qualifier. Though, both of those things are irrelevant because, again, I don't grade anymore. I guess we can go over some more of my Giratina cards. I have a metric ton of the triple rare VStar. As you can see here, these are just in Dragon Shields. I have some of the double rare tag team. That one's simplified Chinese. I don't think I have the traditional Chinese version. You can see the Pokémon logo right there. Tag Team All-Stars, GG End, Unified Minds. And then as for, well, these are technically, this was before double rare was a thing. This is just a standard rare, because the EXs in black and white weren't considered double rares. It wasn't until black or X and Y that they became double rares instead of just rares. But I have a Japanese and Korean copy each, and the Japanese copy is first edition because unlimited cards are incredibly hard to find for these older sets, as DPM can probably tell you with that search for the ultra rare Mega Gengar EX Unlimited from Phantom Gate. I have a copy of the Dragon's Exalted Giratina that went through someone's washer. I traded that off with someone I went to school with for senior year. And then I have 2 copies of the English version. And I have a bunch of the Ancient Origins and Bandit Ring Giratina EX. I have 2 copies in Korean for Bandit Ring. 3 copies in Korean from CP4. I don't have any of the Best of XY one from that set. I have a Best of XY one that's just a standard foil, but you know. Here's my Russian double rare Giratina EX. And then a couple of English copies, and then a Japanese copy of the first edition EX. And then I have just a bunch of these standard Vs from different prints. This one is Japanese from Lost Abyss, Simplified Chinese, Korean, Japanese from VStar Universe, Japanese from VStar Universe, Lost Origin, VStar Universe, promo, Lost Origin. That one's a little off-center. Lost Origin. I have other Giratinas that are pretty cool. Let me grab them out of the box real quick. I have most of my Giratina and Eternatus cards in a ETB. Well, those don't want to come out of the box. So, we got a couple of the Giratina Level X from Platinum Base and the tins from back in the day. I don't know how good that card was competitively because I didn't start playing till XY Breakthrough. I have a bunch of the Prism Stars. Both versions of the Korean one from Ultra Moon and Tag Team All-Stars. I have the Tag Team All-Star version in Japanese. I just need the Ultra Moon version. And then just an unreasonable amount of the English versions. But it's Giratina, so I don't care if it's unreasonable or not. Have some of the Cosmo foil of the Lost Thunder version from those blisters I opened back in the day. And then that is Portuguese Lost Thunder Giratina. That one's from a break I ordered off of my buddy Mikey. If you know who he is, cool. If not, I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Go sub to Mikey. We have the Japanese Fairy Rise Giratinas and the Korean Fairy Rise Giratina. Same with Tag Team All-Stars and the Lost Thunder pre-release promo. I don't have the staff version or the foil simplified Chinese version. Here's that Cosmo foil Giratina I mentioned earlier. Got the reverse foil one, and then some non-foils. I have a couple of cracked ice ones in here somewhere too. This video's gone on long enough. If y'all want a part 2, let me know for Giratina, or maybe even a one for Eternatus. But thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day or night. And I will see y'all whenever I decide to open cards next. Or if y'all want a part 2 to this video, let me know. Peace.
Thanks for watching!